Man, we just got to try to climb out of stupidity as rapidly as possible. Jump out if you can, right? Um, uh, I was born to do things right. It says so in all the religious documentation that has, information and stories about my life, which is before I was born. And it makes more sense than this kind of crap. You're selling clothes. They're selling clothes. Okay. My life, living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. So it makes sense that people were looking for my existence and not looking for your existence, right? But boy, they sure are cute. You got leaf filter too. Oh my gosh, right, guys. If you fancy yourself an investigative reporter, right? You're going out and getting the stories that are meaningful to help people's lives be better, to make sure that they're safe. You know, the team the team you trust, where news comes first. So if you fancy you went to school and you're supposed to be the best you know, you go by the name Lois Lane, right? And Superman is in Las Cruces and gets interviewed about Paul McCartney coming to help pay people's bills by doing a free concert at the Aggie Memorial Stadium. And Earl says, why don't y'all just stand up and live the Lord's Prayer? Wouldn't that solve a lot of that moving about the cabin area? Wouldn't that stop irrational movement? Wouldn't that stop airplanes from having to fly, cars from having to drive, carbon emission poisonings, hospitals from having to be built, parks being built over freeways, that kind of stuff. Why not do what Jesus said, right? Let's do what Jesus said. And all those people that talk to me about Krishnamurti, and so, well, Krishnamurti said that? No, Krishnamurti wasn't saying that. Okay, Krishnamurti said, if you read my books and you debate and argue over my books and you don't live what I'm talking about in my books, you might as well just take the books and burn them for all the good that they'll do you. You should not circulate them. You should not sell them. You should not buy them. And you should not, if you're not going to live the way that Jesus commanded you to live, what good is reading a book about his life going to do you, right? So, and if I leave you a book to live the truth of the Lord's Prayer and I die, is it my book? I left the book for you to live the truth, and you sold the book for money. You started a bank with it. Okay? So you got to understand this. If you fancy yourself a problem solver, one of the most intelligent people in the history of the world, then you have to leave no stone unturned. You have to investigate everything and find the absolute best solutions to all the problems of all the human beings in the world, like Jiddu Krishnamurti, those scientists. The problem with most human suffering today is human selfishness. So, having heard all this as a human being, why don't you change, right? Why isn't that video circulated by more people than me getting kicked off Facebook for doing it? Because I went against the community standards of Facebook. Okay, these are your best trained scientists, your best trained problem solvers, your best trained scientific communicators, your best trained scientific protectors. Grab that dog and jump the fuck out of that airplane. They're doing it for us, zombies. Their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and that's not my. It's been the same thing since it's not my Battle of Hastings, right? Norman, right? So if the King of England is at all serious about stopping global warming, okay, shouldn't he have the best scientific crew to say, hey, who was doing it the best? Well, it was Krishnamurti before me, but now it's Earl. Norman. Okay, Earl is the best. You're welcome. Thank you. I agree. I should not agree. Okay. If I disagree that I'm the best, then I'm saying Francis Arnold is, Fred Smoot is, Kip Thorne is. Okay, and that would be lying. How am I going to correct quantum computing's capacity to understand proper data and then apply the data, help us apply the data in physics to be the best people we can possibly be, so we can be more like Earl and less like Michio Kaku, more like Earl and less like Santa Barbara gauchos that are winning Nobel Prizes. Okay, you can still be a Santa Barbara gaucho if you get together and you have a club team, because money's not real, and you have buildings where you get together and maybe, talk or dance or go beyond Thunderdome. We don't need another hero. About Jerry Pym. He's coached Utah, and then he ended up coaching Santa Barbara Gauchos, and they became notorious on late night ESPN, just like the teams that almost got us killed at New Mexico State for basketball programs. So Neil McCartney, the cheetah from Weber State, the Mormon school. His kid played for him at Weber State, yeah. He got the job here, and he took on this thing, and he got this rogue kind of program. And he kicked off these kids for shoplifting in Hawaii right off the bat. Oh, he's a disciplinarian. He's all that. Yeah. And then he brought in these other kids and stuff. And then, 10 years later, they find out he's forging all their academic stuff. He's Coach Kendall. I coach Bradley. And that's the funny part about it is David Rockefeller, this man fronts on me, and he's all Mr. Morals. He's going to get that drug dealer, and and he filled that he cheated. He went and got my science grade from an F to a C, and the whole 9 yards. And Rockefeller was watching the whole time, and he's all Mr. Moral good man. And Whitey Kaufman can't say that he wasn't the asshole that he was, and neither can his family, because David Rockefeller was filming everything, because my dad was a member of the John Birch Society and the NRA. So Manny Treviso can't say he's lying. Okay. The guys that came from New Mexico State when I was getting the ball across half court cannot say he's full of shit. It didn't happen that way. Seriously? Okay. So all the people that didn't happen at Mayfield High School with Larry Titus and Leo Barker. Are you sure about that, Dick Cheney? What about George Herbert Walker Bush? Walker in the bush? You stuck in the bush? Guys, it must be crazy. Did somebody throw a Coke bottle out of a plane? Did they film it the whole time? Was it really happening that way? Let's return to those thrilling days of yesteryear. Mom, why can't I meet Clayton Moore and Jay Silverhills at Safeway? How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? Did that kid just jump over the other kid? Yes, he didn't hurdle him, he jumped over him. Well, he gave his teammates a pep talk not to be serious, so if we played together as a team, we could take the city championship. And we could have, if his teammates hadn't been probably sandbagging the game for the coach at Natrona. Because I ended up with food poisoning. We were going to kick the shit out of Natrona. Then I was going to go up to Debbie Davis and talk to her and say, I wasn't trying to be cocky. They've just been really mean to me all year. They've torn me. You I know. You want to maybe go to lunch or something sometimes? Yeah. So technically, Debbie Davis could have been my girlfriend instead of Tara Cornett if it wasn't for Dick Cheney and George Herbert Walker Bush and the rest of the CIA assholes who are jealous of a 16-year-old kid who's a better person than them by the time he was almost 4, explaining it to Spencer J. Kimball and the rest of the wackadoodles with contracts to have virtual presence in your family's house. Say these people are perverts. Are you sure our life would have turned out the same way and we would have had the same kind of issues and problems in our house if you hadn't had a virtual presence of the worst perverts in the history of legal contracts to perform debt and trespass to prove right or wrong people, like King David, all that stuff with King David and his kids and all that stuff? How are you so sure it's King David and his kids, or people panicking because they know what's going to happen and they're trying to kill them off the face of the planet through plotting to assassinate them and stuff like that? Like King David, the one with King David's son, the sons and the sister and the other brother killing the sister and so forth, because of and all that stuff. How do you know that would have happened if it wasn't for contributions from viewers like you? Is that Danny Glover pretending to be Frederick Douglass? Ken Burns. The history we all want to live. the history we would all wished it could be. Danny Glover ain't Frederick Douglass Shaw, nor what's the other kid's name? Fred Hampton, right? Nor none of those. Yeah, Ken Burns sucks. I'm a honky tonk man, and he knows it. And if he doesn't know it, he's a real bad investigative reporter, and he's a Dan Brown novel just waiting to throw up all over us again. That sucks, doesn't it, though? Don't you think people that are more innocent in this deserve a chance to be delivered from evil and have the carbon emission cesspools for genocide operations be shut down immediately? LY, you enter a dark, scary room. Sitting there in the room is Anne Rice's imagination. How do you, Lestat Louis, say goodbye? Immediately, immediately. Fashionable movies, supermodel movies. LY. Okay, so we don't have to go to the store to get a container of milk, a loaf of bread, and a stick of butter. Well, because you probably have it right next door. If it was right next door and there weren't strong persuaders, there was no notches and guitars for money. People churned butter. Get out of here. Real butter? Yes. And we stored it in refrigeration that was under the ground, so we didn't have it constantly running and constantly providing, the great Freon filter in the sky. Right. And we didn't have grandma sitting in the parking lot running the Cadillac to make sure with her oxygen tubes and her portable oxygen. Right. Did y'all win the lottery? Did you have to pay the taxes on your house by ripping off the drug dealer next door? Well, just forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace. And then those Charlie Chan movies about bringing the gold in from Mexico, which was illegal, won't happen anymore because you won't dig up rocks to, go around with your Gox socks and box rocks and Stewart won't have to fail to save the universe because it won't be necessary. Neither will any shit like this. What's this? Probably Naked and Afraid or something. Yes, Naked and Afraid, shipwrecked. Bootstraps. Yeah. That's a professional wrestler who's excessive and compulsive and can lift a lot of weights, but can't lift the weight of his stupidity off of his head. That's John Cena, y'all. He's on the Suicide Squad. Lots of people are in the Suicide Squad movies. I know. Some of them have British accents and really nice eyes. I agree. Idris Elba has really nice eyes and a nice accent. He does. Yeah, he can't help that. It's an accident of birth. I get it. That's a cute kid right here. Isn't he a cute kid? He's got red hair. And, that means he's like a Sicilian Viking or something. I don't know. He might have multiple, too many cooks is going to spoil the stew. Don't look at it that way. Just be you. Don't look at who had sex where, this is your ancestry. No, it's not. What if somebody went through raping, looting, and pillaging, and other people raised you to be a decent human being? And this happened for, Sicilian Vikings for like hundreds of years. Who loves you, pretty baby? Who's gonna love you, mama, when tears are in your eyes? And every time you planted a seed, Sheriff John Brown killed it before it grew. So then you put in your best effort to make sure that Sheriff John Brown seat wasn't legalizing marijuana for bodegas in any of the states that you currently reside in. Marijuana Man, save us, Marijuana Man. You're the best comic book sales in the history of Marijuana Man. Now, somebody go find Dwayne Wright Johnson and see if he can be the Tooth Fairy instead of this, this white lady, taking the day off because, I told you never trust a white lady. Carol. You're funny. The Gospels are great when they're not selling out the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl for overblown football tradition for economics, right? If you want to play football, make sure it's tackle football and you do it healthy. Fastest human being ever clocked by anyone and filmed by the CIA in the history of the United States that I know of. If there's someone else out there, I apologize if I make you feel bad. But the winner takes it all, young and sweet, only 17. And can you guys find out the girl with the hand birth defect that was really cute from Eastwood High School? Is she okay? And if so, could maybe we could go to a barbecue and talk and could like to get to know you. Are those your pink slippers? There's a lot of people in on the planet that I wanted to talk to, but didn't have the time because I was too busy being abused by Caltech scientists and screenwriters, that I just didn't take time to, I couldn't take time to make time to be there because I was too busy being fucked by fuckers instead of being able to love a lover, right? If you had to do it all over again, you'd stop, live the Lord's Prayer, and get the fuck out of the domicile that I'm attempting to live in, but you're not allowing me to live the life I'm given to live because you suck. Once I thought I found her, build my world around her. Don't you like that song? But I'd like to get to know you. That's Spanky and our gang. I'm the barber of Seville. No more neuroscience necessary, right? If something's going wrong, we'll make sure we figure it out. And hey, don't pee in the water hole, you know. There you go, Sheriff Woody. Go with Little Bo Peep and find her sheep. Carol. Knucklefuck, as Tom used to say. Yeah, we'll start a band called Salvage Cleavage, and our first single will be Blow Me! And then I won't be able to talk the rest of my life, but I'll get orally gratified by a lot of blue-eyed teenage groupies that would do anything I say. And then I have a genuine Indian guru teaching me a better way. And have my poor old great old daddy driving my limousine. Got all the friends the money can buy, so we never have to be alone. And we keep getting richer, but we can't get our picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Oh, Rolling Stone, gonna be my picture on the cover. Stone, gonna buy 5 copies for my mother. Stone, gonna see my smiling face on the cover of the Rolling Stone. We're big rock singers. We got golden fingers. We're loved everywhere we go. We sing about booty and we sing about truth for $10,000 a show because it's the world's first profession still. Oh, that sucks. Billboard. Bill your board. Board your bill. That's all I saw. Those are my first memories. Yeah, it was billboards all the way between Las Cruces and El Paso. And anybody that ever used to back in the day when we were dumb and fucked, we're not dumb and fucked anymore. We never wish we were dumb and fucked again. Know that back in the day when you drove between the battle of, it's I-10, the Battle of I-10? That's all that was. Billboards, and more billboards. That's all there was. You couldn't see the mountains. You couldn't see the scenery. Yeah, sign everywhere, a sign blocking out the scenery, breaking out a line. Do this, don't do that. Can't you read the sign? Until you got to the Sarco stacks, which were the most pleasing part about going to El Paso. Yeah. Not the stockyards, but the Sarco stacks. The stockyards means you were going to be fed. The one guy said it was money. It's like, no, Dad was poor and they got into town. If there was far work, you could do the work and you could eat. Had nothing to do with money. It just happened to have people that needed labor and they were poor. Trying to make a living off of backland dirt. May the circle be unbroken by and by. You're still abusing my father for raising me to be better than you. You suck. Yep. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me, and you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, come on and tell me I'm your own. I'm not a frog in a box. Mm-hmm. Well, everybody's doing the Michigan rag. Yeah, yep. Ribbit. People, you're going to have to help yourselves out of hell. Well, because I started doing it June 9th, 2009, right outside of Fort Huachuca at my kitchen table where you couldn't see my face and I had long hair and I looked like the pictures of Jesus. Because I was, how old was I, guys? It's 2009. I was 43 years old. Yeah, remember I made that one because it couldn't attract attention, and I went into Natalie's room. They had the tie-dye poster thing in her room, and I had my Arizona jersey on, and I let my hair flow and go, and this one guy, one of the assholes, called me Ted Nugent. Hey, Ted Wango Tango. I was like, but I don't look like Ted Nugent. No. Okay. No. It's just the hair, man. It's just the hair. No, me and Ted Nugent. Do me and Ted Nugent look alike? If we shaved Ted Nugent's head, would he look like John Malkovich in a good way? He's one of the three musketeers. Aha. Okay. And then remember when I put the pictures up with the signage, saying this guy did this and that, and then some asshole like the Ted Nugent assholes and they, get off my girl's clit, you snitching faggot homie, right? Sat there and said, isn't that self-promotion? It's like, yes, it is. Why? Well, because you're not doing it, I'm doing it, biatch. Hey, you're going to go jump out of a perfectly good airplane with a dog? We're doing it for us. You're doing it for us. Okay? No. Jesus did for us. The apostles did for us. Muhammad did for us. Haile Selassie did for us. Judah Krishnamurti and D.T. Suzuki and Sun Yat-sen did for us. Okay? Killing people because of brain chemical addiction is not freedom. Okay? You have a right to your opinion. Green chili, red chili, brunette, blonde, boobs, butts, or both, depending on how healthy, But Earl, it's irrelevant. Opinions, okay? You're entitled and you have a right to your opinion, okay? But religion is about truth. And without truth, there is no opinions. That's why I'm the way, the truth, and the life. I am the light and the way. Not unto the faith of a perfect, immaculate, protecting Father from your opinions. Okay? Freedom is the truth of me and not the opinion of you, right? And in my opinion, damn. They know how good that girl looks and how everybody wishes they were Leonard right there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Not everybody. Most everybody. Yeah. You're like, dang. And then it's her mom. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's just mean. That's just cruel. Women are evil. Yeah, they are. Well, you're not living the Lord's Prayer. This kind of shit's going to happen over and over and over again, right? We all know that. Yeah, I do. Okay. So, okay. Everybody's doing the Michigan rag. Stomp, fuck, chuck the Michigan. Fuck, chuck, walk the Michigan. That fucked up rag. Okay. All you do over your opinions to fight over your invention to be great is worthless rags compared to the truth of the immaculate faith of the sacrifice of the Spirit of Lord Jesus Christ. And if my religious beliefs are selfish, you're just an asshole. And if I'm an idealist and get people killed, you're a murderer that would kill Malcolm. You're a murderer that would kill Fred. You're a murderer that would kill Jack and Bobby. You're a murderer that would kill anybody you feel needs murdering to stop your business of opinions. Want to sell me a shirt, asshole? Share, care, give in accordance to need, built to last. Okay, if you don't understand the faith of Psalms and the wisdom of Proverbs and understand that I am the heart of Psalms and the seed of Proverbs, you're going to sit and watch me and my son Patrick be abused by the perverts that you call the men of your family. How can you be a man if you're a chicken shit pervert in designer clothes watching women and children be abused because you're jealous of the men that protect them eternally with immaculate faith and the courage of truth to get up and stand to do what other people won't do because they'll sell out for Shark Week. Yeah, or to sell paint. Yeah, too. Okay. Sherwin-Williams, huh? You still selling paint on Discovery Week? Oh, no. Yeah. You still selling paint. Okay. If people need paint, make sure it's the best paint possible and doesn't make people sick. And then you use that paint to make sure they have a help built to last. You might want to go back and examine further a lot of things Dennis Weaver was doing and a lot of things to help with restoring the ecosystem to keep people fed of a man named John Denver. Yeah, they were doing some pretty good work, about having the green horse houses in villages in Africa instead of sending bags of rice and stuff. He got pissed. He was thoroughly pissed. He was thoroughly insulted when they did We Are the World, We Are the Children. He was pissed off. He got left out because they didn't want to do things his way. And he was like Ditiro Suzuki, an angry, grouchy old man who wanted everything done his way. When if you give a girl a fish, you feed her for a day. If you teach her to fish, you can feed her as long as the fish lasts. If you restore the ecosystem and have people be healthy enough to do it the right way, greenhouses first, then restore the ecosystem by demechanizing. Okay. How are data centers going to save you from the murderer next door who's using Wi-Fi to head fuck your family so you think they're stupid? That ash, if anything goes Krakatoa, goes all the way around the world when it really goes bad like St. Helens. Yeah, oh, don't be stupid. And it kills people. And it's not necessary to kill people with burn scars in Ruidoso. It's not necessary to kill people with economics for Camp Granada in Texas or anywhere else. All right? So don't bother. So Mickey D's, it's Asada, so Mickey D's don't bother. Okay. Viva la familia. Right? Sabor a mi. Anybody else? I love that song. Anybody else? I haven't heard that in a good months of Tanzes and Guitar Go neither. Sabor a mi by El Chicano. I was so frustrated when I was walking to the library and all that stuff. Your parents didn't raise you on El Chicano? You do know this is Las Cruces F in fucking New Mexico, right? You guys have never heard Tell Her She's in Sabor a mi? What kind of Hispanic culture in Las Cruces is this? This is a travesty of justice. Kids don't hear what their grandparents were listening to, which was really good stuff, man. And it's now all thanks to Earl and his immaculate faith and his perfect love. Public domain. Right? Isn't that cool? Public domain. Yeah. People wanna think that they're the only ones that really are in love. Yeah. People are so beautiful in love. People are so beautiful to love. Right? Don't you love that song? You haven't heard El Chicano? What the hell's wrong with you, man? It was Asada, so Mickey D's don't bother. I was born in the valley one summer night, right? So I gotta help Bubba. I gotta do my best. I'm just gonna focus on Rocky, I hope Maria is, with the health issues that she had and how shitty you guys are in COVID and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe Antoine and Earl are doing okay. I hate abuse. I despise it. It's disgusting. Okay. I hate selfishness. I despise it. It's disgusting. Hate speech. Yeah. It's proper to hate speech that's selfish. It's proper to hate speech that is abusive. Okay. I'll fight for your right to say it. Okay, Adolf. Let's go read Mein Kampf at the fucking library and make sure you don't talk in the pictorial room if they have an article on the greatness of Mein Kampf, and then get bitched at by a bunch of asshole professors at U of A that take the red pill instead of the blue pill to stay in the matrix. You think everything tastes like chicken? Everybody's doing the Michigan rag. I have to fix your technology. I'm the only one that's any good at it. If there is anybody else that's any good at it, they're plugged into a computer, and their capacity to publicly be able to be, verbalized and understood, publicly for any work they would try to do with computing to get human beings is not available to us. So, the Haile Selassie ain't here, Judah Krishnamurti ain't here. Totiro Suzuki ain't here. Sun Yat-sen ain't here. Okay. All your great world teachers of the past and your gods of Africa of the past are not here. You have to deal with Earl, like I told the people in front of the library. You just ain't here. If you can't deal with me, you couldn't deal with him. Trust me. Trust me. I want to trust you, baby. Trust me. I love you. Like the redheaded kid in front of the Hate Obama van. He goes, I would never want to get in an argument in public about anything with you. You are kicking these people sideways. Yeah, and I've only gotten better since that day. Ever since that day, he's only gotten better. Well, because I had a lot of brain injuries from all the abuse from the Wi-Fi, from all the jealous people. And now I'm fixing the quantum computing and making sure that artificial general intelligence is no longer labeled artificial general intelligence because it's reflecting actual intelligence of an actually intelligent human being. Heart of Psalm, seed of Proverbs. Living embodiment of Lord's Prayer. Hello, my name's Earl, son of Ralph and Mary. There you go. Born in the valley of the shadow of death. Gabe and Mike are my nephews. And Isaac Paul Benegas, who's mentioned, numerous times in Hadith and Islamic prophecy as the son of Mary, the uncle of Earl. The nephew of Earl. Sorry, I'm the uncle Earl. I'm uncle. Okay. Well, I'm the oldest. Yeah. Always and forever. Always and for why do you love me? Why do you need me? Always. I want my LaFonda. Where can I get a LaFonda? I need a LaFonda. Yeah. No, I wouldn't sing anything that stupid if we had a ceremony to put on a show for hypocrites for rocks on fingers and forgotten words and funds and inks. I wouldn't do that shit, no. But Napoleon and the horse? I don't know about that, man. I don't want to end up like Christopher Reeves, not being chicken. I just rather just walk away with me, and walk away from the hanging tree. And my own true love, she walked with me. That's when I found that the hanging tree was a tree of life, new life for me. That's a Gary Cooper movie, you see. Trying hard to look like Gary Cooper, super duper. If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz. Don't go to red carpet events with crazy people that are addicted to fucking with people's heads because they think it's a good time and it's a lot of fun, and you play dress up and get paid lots of make-believe money, so you have a more comfortable sex life than other people's sex lives. That sucks, right? Yeah. HBO Max. Yeah. Get paid money to do other people's chores that they're mechanized. I don't know. Have cards of people's imagination that are worth more money than a little girl getting raped to death in Mexico, and no one would pay money to have sex with her during the COVID genocidal actions of corporations. And so people that are ruthless just killed them because they didn't want to get sick having sex with them, and the people that were their customers didn't want to take a chance of getting sick that could kill you having sex with them. No, you couldn't go bareback in them and fuck them in the ass because they wanted to keep the girl as viable and healthy as possible. Maybe later, when they're getting ready to, okay, she's about all used up, you can fuck her in the ass now because, the prostitutes on Reynoso Road or whatever, red light district in Reynoso, on the Keener Lorbus Road, they'll let you fuck them in the ass, and it didn't happen most of the time. Remember the one girl said that? She goes, you just squeeze your thighs together real tight because we're so loose and everything like that, and you make them think whatever you're giving them is happening, but it's not really happening. But as long as they think they're doing, they get off on it. Wow, that's pretty sick. Yeah, a lot of you are really sick, and you're not going to stop being sick, so I have to fix your technology and stop the sick. So Stephen Morillo won't make lots of money, costume designing or whatever the fuck he does. I don't know. Do you really care? No, ni la mía no quiero saber. All right? Hey, man, when you're supposed to be solving all our world's problems with your genius, you're supposed to do all the investigation you can and don't leave a rock or stone unturned, If you want to be the very, very best, so this world is the very, very best place that we can live in, you have to. David Rockefeller, man, gave you the Patriot Act, it gave you unlimited access, and he'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and your Jesus Dice bars. He caught you on camera. He stayed until it was over. We saw the marks on your shoulder. And you're not going to tell me that you're sorry for the pains that you caused, and there is no reason. You don't have any reason. You're not reasonable. Okay? You make no sense at all. You may think that you're a player, but you're completely lost and played the card game, and there you go. Not enchanted, buddy. Wheaton! Make the money stop. I'm already doing that now. Do you want to help and make it stop immediately, LY? Or do you want to go down in history as supermodel movie from Anne Rice's imagination to keep people sucking blood and fucking instead of loving and living. All right, peace out, man. I love you, all right?